Okay, so now we are going to start with our first slideshow animation. Let's create a new composition. We are going to call it as main. Let's call it as animation. Width is 1920, height is 180, frame rate is 30, and duration is 1 second long. And background color is white color, not black but white color. And simply hit OK and hit OK. Then go to choose grid and guide option and simply hit on titles section. Now let's create one ellipse. So I'm going to select it and I'm going to choose any red color over here, and by holding shift I'm going to create one ellipse. Now select this shape layer, press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. Now select this layer, hit enter, and let's call it as mask, like this. Okay, then select this layer, hit Ctrl D, select the second layer, press S, and let's increase the size of it. Then select this layer, hit Ctrl D, select this third layer, let's increase the size of this. Then select this layer, hit Ctrl D, select this last layer, and let's increase the size of this layer, like that. Okay, so this is going to be my mask. Then simply select all of these layers and let's select this all of these layers and let's call it as red. Now select this mask layer, hit Ctrl D. So this second layer over here, let's change the color of this one to yellow, like this, and let's lock this two layers. Then select this mask 3, hit Ctrl D, select this second layer, which means fourth one, and change the color to yellow, and let's lock this layer. Then select this, hit Ctrl D, select this sixth layer, change the color to yellow and lock this. Select this, hit Ctrl D, select this eighth layer and change the color to yellow, and let's unlock this. Now all the yellow layers, I'm going to delete their fill. If you want, then you can enable this icon so you can see only this, and let's delete this fill, we don't need that. And over here I'm going to add black color for the stroke, like this. Okay, now let's select this first layer over here, go to the effect and presets panel and search for blur effect to apply, and apply this blur effect and choose Gaussian blur and increase the blurriness somewhere around like this, so we'll get something like this. So let's make this value 80. Select this Gaussian blur, hit Ctrl C, and we will apply this effect to all of these layers, like that. Okay, so if I see this, I'll get this drop shadow kind of effect, and if you want, you can select these layers and press T for opacity and you can decrease their opacity. Okay, let's make this opacity of each and every one to 50, and let's create not 50 but let's say 70, and we will create one keyframe. Now we will select these layers and we will make it a parent with this red ones. So all the yellow layers should be parent with the red one which is above that, like this one to this and this one to this. And we will select this yellow layers, hit enter, and let's call it as shadow. Okay, so simply select all of this layer, hit enter, and you can simply paste that name. Okay, so if you see, we will get something like this. Now select all the mask layers and press P for position, create one keyframe, zoom in a little bit, go to around 2 seconds, create another keyframe, go to the start, and we will simply bring this stuff out of this composition and select those layers and hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph, by holding shift I'm going to move this handle over here. So if I see, I'll get this kind of animation. Then somewhere around at this point, like this, I'm going to select the shadow layers. I'll press T for opacity and let's create one keyframe each. Go to the last keyframe and let's make this opacity 0. So if I see this now, I'll get something like this with opacity is going to decrease, and select the last keyframe and hit F9. Okay, so I'm gonna get this kind of stuff. Now hit U, hit Control 0. Now you can choose whatever image you want. I'm going to pick up this image over here. Now the size of image is quite big, so simply right click, go to the transform, and let's make this fit to comp. Then press S and let's increase the size of this image a little bit. It should go a little bit out of this composition. Then we will bring this up to this mask and we will choose alpha mask. Select this and hit Ctrl D. Then we will bring this above this mask layer and we will hide this mask. Select this, hit Ctrl D. We will bring this over here and we will hide this mask. Select this, hit Ctrl D. Let's bring this over here and we will remove this mask. Okay, so if I see this animation now, as you guys can see, we are getting this kind of stuff. Now we need to adjust it one by one, so I'm going to take a distance of 5 frames, and we will select this, this, this and this, and we will simply bring this over here. Again, take a distance of 5 frames, select these three layers, and we will move this over here. And again, take a distance of 5 frames, select this, and let's move this over here. So now if I see this animation, I'm gonna get this something like this, but I think I forgot to do one step. So let's simply select all of them, and let's move this over here. Along with this, we are going to select this image layers and press P for position, create one keyframe, and go to around 2 seconds, create another keyframe, and then go to the start, and we will bring this image uh, position over here. So if you see, we will get something like this. Now select this position keyframes of this image and hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph. By holding shift, we will move this handle over here. So hit U, so we will get something like this. And now we will take a distance of 5 frames, and we will adjust them one by one. So select these three layers with the help of open square bracket, move this over here, select this, move this over here, and go over here, select this, and we'll move this over here. So if you see, we will get this kind of animation. Now select all of these layers and press Ctrl Shift C, and let's call it as 1. Okay, so if I see, I'll get this kind of animation. Let's go inside this. Okay, now right click new, and let's create one null object. Select all these images layers by holding Control, and we will make it a parent with this null object. Select this null object, go to the start, press S, create one keyframe, go to somewhere around 10 seconds, and we are going to make it 110. Okay, so what will happen along with this, we will get a little bit of scaling animation over here. So if I see this now, I'll get this kind of stuff. You can also go over here, right click new, and you can create one adjustment layer. You can go to the effect and presets panel and search for CC lens effect to apply. If you apply this, you will get something like this, and let's increase the size of this like this, so we will get a little bit of concave structure. And if you see this stuff now, it will take a little bit time to load, so let's make this quad resolution, so you are gonna get this kind of results over here. Okay, and if you see this stuff in full resolution, it will take a little bit time to load, but final output would be awesome like this. So if you see, you will get something like this. Now select this layer, right click, go to the reveal and reveal layer in source project, and let's make this quarter resolution. Select this one and hit Ctrl D, and simply bring this layer over here like this, and we will go to around 3 seconds. I'll select this second layer and I'll move this over here, so it will start to animation over here. Now let's go inside this, select all the images, and we have the second image over here which we are going to replace it. So by holding Alt, I'm going to replace this like this. Press S, and you can, as I said, your image should be little bit more. So if you see this over here, we will get this kind of slideshow. Now I'm going to select this first layer. I'll hit Ctrl D again, and I'll bring this at the top, and I'll take a distance of 6 frames, and I'll move this over here. Then I'll select the second layer, hit Ctrl D, bring this at the top. Let's go to around 9 seconds, and I'll move this over here, and let's hit N. And somewhere around over here, I'll hit B. So if I see this animation, along with this, I'll get this kind of animation, which is also in the form of loop. And then if you want, then you can add whatever text you want to add over here. Like I'm going to type slide show animation. I can select this, and I can increase the size. I can adjust it over here. Let's adjust the size. Go to the align tab, align it horizontally and align it vertically, and let's try to adjust this over here. Select this, hit Ctrl D, select this, and let's increase the size. Go to the character menu, and let's close this, and it's a stroke. So you will get this kind of slideshow text. You can go to the effect and presets panel and search for drop shadow effect, and simply double click to apply and increase this drop shadow effect like that. So this is one way you can add text, and you can get your animation this elegant look. So yep, this is our first slideshow animation. Okay, so now we are going to start with our third slideshow animation, and this animation is based on one effect called as time displacement. So let's see how we can use it. So let's create a new composition. We will call it as main animation. Width is 1920, height is 180, frame rate is 30, and duration is 1 minute long, and background color is white. And simply hit OK. Go to choose grid and guide option and simply hit on title selection and select our image, and we will bring this over here. Now select all of this image, right click, go to the transform, and let's make it fit. Now let's hide first image. Now select this layer, press P for position. Let's go somewhere around 1 second, create one keyframe, go to around 2 seconds, and by holding shift I'm going to move this out of this composition. Let's adjust it like this. Now enable this first image. We will select this and we will make it apparent with this second image like this. So if you play this animation, you will get something like this. Now select this keyframe and hit F9, and we will increase the duration of this animation. Then go to the graph editor, select this graph, zoom in. By holding shift, move one handle over here, and let's move one handle over here. So if you see this animation now, we will get something like this. Then go few frame forward again. We will select this keyframe. We will hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V, right click, keyframe assistance, and time reverse keyframes. So you will get this animation again. Now select this layers, press Ctrl Shift C, and let's call it as animation, and hit OK. Sorry for my spelling mistake. Then press Ctrl N to create another composition. We will call it as map and simply hit OK. Then press Ctrl Y to create one solid background, and then we are going to select our rectangle tool. Let's delete this stroke, we don't need that, and choose white color for this fill, and we will create one rectangle and press Ctrl Alt O, and we are select this rectangle, hit Ctrl D, and let's try to adjust it whatever we want like this. It's okay if they are on one layer over here like this. Then right click new and create one adjustment layer. Go to the effect and presets panel and type blur and apply Gaussian blur, and let's increase the blurriness of this and also enable this repeat edge pixels. Go to the effect and presets panel and search for mosaic effect and double click to apply. So we will get this kind of structure like this. Then go to the main animation, hit Ctrl 0, and we will bring this map comp over here like this, and let's hide this. Now select this layer, go to the effect and presets panel and search for time displacement effect, and simply double click to apply, and over here in your time displacement layer we are going to choose map. So if I go to the start over here, let's make this third resolution, and like this it will take a little bit time to load. And if you see this animation, you will get this kind of animation, and then you will get this kind of animation over here like this. Okay, and if you want, then you can select this layers, press S, and you can increase the scale a little bit. So what we will get over here, if I see, I'll get something like this. So it's totally up to you how you want to adjust it over here. Then if you want, then you can press P and you can move this over here, create one keyframe. Let's say just experimenting, I don't know what will happen if I did do this. Let's see. As you guys can see, along with this over here we are getting a little bit of animation also. So let's move this over here and let's try to adjust it over here like this, and initially let's move this over here. So if I see this animation now, along with this we will get this animation also like this. Okay, so this is also one way to create a slideshow animation which is quite pixelated. And if you want more depth, then you can increase the number of horizontal and vertical blocks, so you will get a little bit of different results over here. And if I hit play now, I'll get different results over here. So this is how you can create this kind of slideshow animation. Okay, so now we will start with our second animation, new composition. We will call it as main animation. Width is 1920, height is 180, frame rate is 30, duration is 1 minute, and background color is white, and simply hit OK. Choose grid and guide option and simply hit on title section. Again we will follow the same pattern for this animation, but this time we are going to choose rectangle, and we will choose red color, and we will delete this stroke, we don't need that. And now I'm going to create one rectangle like this. Select this, press Ctrl Alt Home, select this and simply move this over here. Again we will choose rectangle, and we are going to create something like this. Then we will create this kind of random shapes, but the motto is to fulfill this complete rectangle, this complete composition like this. And make sure that there are no more gaps in between these rectangles, so that should be our main priority. So we need to create something like this. Then we will select this, and then I'm going to create one rectangle over here. Then select this and create one rectangle over here. Then one rectangle over here. Then we will create select this and let's create one over here. Okay, so we are gonna get something like this. Now select all of them and press P for position, create one keyframe, zoom in a little bit, go to around 2 seconds, create another keyframe, go to the start, and then we will go to the align tab, align it horizontally like this, and then simply bring this over here like this. Okay, go to over here, select all of them and hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph, and by holding shift I'm going to move this handle over here like this. Okay, then simply select all of them and hit Ctrl D and select these layers, and let's convert these layers into yellow like this. Okay, so it would be easy for us to understand which one is which one. Okay, and all the yellow colors are going to be my mask, and all the purple colors like this ones, by holding Ctrl I'm going to select all of them like this, and let's delete the fill of them like this, and change the stroke to black color and 5 pixels like this. Okay, and enable this icon so we can see them properly like this. Now select this, any one of them, go to the effect and presets panel and search for blur effect to apply this Gaussian blur effect and change the blurriness to 85. Okay, like this. Now select this Gaussian blur, hit Ctrl C, select all the this layer, purple layers like this, and then we will hit Ctrl V to apply that Gaussian blur effect, so we will get something like this. Now enable this icon. Now we know that purple layers are our shadows and yellow color is our main stuff. So if I see this animation, as you guys can see, we will get something like this. So I'll now hit Ctrl 0 and we will select one image, but before that I'm going to select all of these purple layers over here. We have to animate the opacity of them, which I forgot, or instead of that you can select this first layer, press T for opacity, create one keyframe, go to around 2 seconds and let's make this opacity 0 like this. You can select these layers, hit F9 to ease those keyframes, select those keyframe, hit Ctrl C, and simply by holding Ctrl I'm going to select all the purple layers, and you can simply press Ctrl V to apply that keyframe. So if I see, I'll get this kind of animation. Hit U, then select any one image over here, and we have to bring this image in between this. So first of all, let's adjust the size of this image. Make sure that it should not completely inside the composition, a little bit portion should be outside of this one, and choose alpha mask. Okay, and let's maximize this stuff. Let's select this, hit Ctrl D, and we will bring this in middle of this yellow layer, and make sure to choose alpha mask, and we need to hide this. And let's change the color of this image layers into red one, so it would be easy for us to understand. Then select this, hit Ctrl D, and we will bring this after this yellow layer, and we will lock this layer. So you need to follow this procedure carefully. You need to just understand that this red color layer should be after yellow one. So simply select this, hit Ctrl D, and then check out which one is yellow layer after that. Right now it's 11, so let's hide this one. So I'm going to make it think a little bit faster. You have to move this between yellow and purple, and then hide the yellow layer like this. So that's why coloring of layers is also important in After Effects, so you can easily understand that what procedure that you need to follow in your animation like this. Okay, so if you see this animation now, you will get something like this. But along with this animation, we need position animation for our image also. So let's maximize this again. Now select this layer, press P for position, create one keyframe, go to around 2 seconds, create another keyframe. Then go to the start, and let's bring this image a little bit over here like this. Select this position keyframes, hit F9, go to the graph, select this, and by holding shift I'll move this handle over here. Select those position keyframe and hit Ctrl C. Let's select all the image layers over here like this by holding Ctrl, and simply hit Ctrl V and hit U. Okay, so if you see, we will get something like this. Now we need this animation one by one, so hit U, and now we need to take a distance of 5 frames, and we need to select these 3 layers, and with the help of open bracket, let's move this over here. Again, take a distance of 10 frames, and let's move this over here. 15 frames, select these layers, move this over here. 20 frames, select these layers and move this over here. So basically I'm going to adjust these layers one by one like this. Okay, so now if you see this stuff, we will get something like this. And if you think that this animation is coming a little bit later, then you can adjust the position over here also like this, a little bit over here. Okay, so it's totally up to you how you want to adjust that. Then right click new and create one null object. Again, we will maximize this, and we will select all of these image layers by holding Ctrl. We will make it apparent with this null object. Select this null object, go to the start, press S, create one keyframe, go to around, let's say 7 seconds maybe, and let's make this 110. Okay, so if you see this stuff now, we will get this kind of animation. Now select all of these layers and press Ctrl Shift C, and let's call it as 1. Select this one, hit Ctrl D, and simply bring this over here. Go inside this, select this second layer. Let's maximize this, and by holding Ctrl, we are going to select all the image layers over here. And by holding Alt, I'll replace it. Okay, and press S, and as I said, we need to increase the size of this image. Then let's hide this, and I'm going to take a distance of 4 frames, and I'll select this and I'll move this over here, and I'll unhide this. Then I'll press B over here to start this animation from here. Then I'll go to around 8 seconds. I'll select this first layer, I'll hit Ctrl D. Let's move this over here, and let's move this over here, and then I'll go to around 12 seconds and I'll hit N. So if I see this animation now, I'll get this animation first, then I'll get this animation first, like this. So we will get this kind of slideshow. And again, as I said, then I can add type my text whatever you want. I'm going to type the same text over here, so I don't need to show much more creativity in this because the main purpose is done. I'll increase the size like this. You can add whatever text you want. Let's adjust the size, go to the character, let's add stroke, select this layer, go to the effect and presets panel and search for drop shadow effect, double click to apply and increase the softness. So this is how you can create this kind of slideshow animation.